Hi there. Welcome to the How to Market Your Horse Business podcast. I'm so glad you're here. My name's Denise Alvarez, and I get the pleasure of hosting you here every week and talking about marketing for your horse business. So before I dive into part 2 of our conversation from last week and share a little bit about that, I'd love to introduce myself in case we are new friends. So through my business, Storm Lily Marketing, I get to help horse business owners like you to turn your website visitors into your customers. And I get to do that through coaching, through website design and content, email marketing strategy, as well as my monthly coaching program, Social Stride. And I do each of these things. I also jump onto this podcast every week because I want to help you as horse business owners do more of what you love, to work with horses more. And so I love that I get to help you see marketing in a new way and provide some step-by-step strategies and basic how-tos so that you can see what's possible when you market your horse business, and also so that I can help to guide you through that process to make it happen. And so I know that you got into the horse business because you love horses, right? No matter what your story is, I'm sure you're a horse person. And I know that means really you would much rather be out with the horses than sitting at the computer trying to figure out marketing, right? But here's the thing. I also know that as a business owner myself, we both get that it takes revenue, right? It takes having an income stream to actually have a sustainable business, whether it's a horse business or not. And so that's why we are doing a part 2 of our conversation about how you as a horse business owner can make money online. What other ideas can you come up with for generating revenue? Now, the great thing about online revenue is that it expands your audience greatly. So that's why we're talking about that. It automatically opens up the opportunity for someone, frankly, across the country, across the state, across the world, to connect with you and to learn from you, right? Because you have knowledge, you have experience, you have expertise to share. And so when you are using these online ideas, that's what you're doing, right? You're sharing what you know, and it's just in a new form or fashion. So I do not want you to be overwhelmed because we're saying the word online, okay? First of all, I'm here to help. You can definitely jump into my free How to Market Your Horse Business Facebook group at any time and ask questions there. But also because this podcast is here to help you figure those things out as well, right? So last week, you learned 3 doable ways that you can generate revenue online for your business. So if you've not listened to that episode, do go back and listen. It's episode number 52. You can go back to your podcast player or just go to stormlily.com/52 right there on my website. You can listen to it as well. And so today we're diving into 2 more ideas. These ideas, frankly, they do require a little bit more heavy lifting. And so everything, of course, if we're going to do it well, we want to do it 100%, right? We want to do it well. But these are a little bit less one and done format. However, they also, therefore, have a potential for a bigger return, a bigger audience. And so make sure that you do go and grab my free guide that goes along with these this week and last week's episode. That is at stormlily.com/money. And in that, it is your horse business owner's guide to making money online. And through that, you will get a list of the ideas we've talked about here. You will also get links to view the samples we talk about so you can see how they're laying it out, what their verbiage is, that type of thing. And then I've included space there for you to take action because, as you know, my goal is for you to walk away and be able to take action in your horse business. And so on that free guide, you're also going to have space for taking notes about what can apply to your horse business specifically, as well as deciding what your next steps are for the ideas that you want to take and run, right? So go to stormlily.com/money and you can get your free guide there. And then, of course, I will have a link to that at the show notes for today's episode, which is stormlily.com/53 for number 53. Okay, let's go on to our ideas today. So this is idea number 4 and number 5 for how you can generate revenue online as a horse business. Number 4 is to create an online course. Now, last week we talked about a workshop, right? And I said the workshop is something that's very specific. It's not covering a whole lot of things. You're going to hone in on one thing. It's going to be much shorter and it's going to be easier for them to take and apply. Online courses are definitely another great way to get past that one-to-one income ceiling. So rather than focusing on that one-on-one lesson, that virtual coaching, it's a great way for you to reach more people with your message and frankly, to bring in even more revenue and get a better return on the investment of your time. If we're just talking return in terms of income, of course. Courses are also a really good way for you to share more detailed information, right? So you can go a little bit deeper and have multiple lessons or modules. So for example, you might break it down into 3 modules, and inside of those 3 modules, you would have 5 lessons each. Yes, that's a lot of content, which is exactly why I said there's a little more heavy lifting when you do an online course. But you're going to be able to charge more for it because there's more content, because you can promise a bigger transformation, right? Now, I do not want you to say, Denise, I've already seen a ton of people doing this. There are plenty of online courses available right now. Would somebody actually buy my course? Is there really another one that's needed in the market? And so here's what I want you to remember if you're thinking that. You have clients right now. You have customers right now because you're obviously good at what you are doing. You have a message, you have a method that is working for those people, and they keep coming to you because they trust you, right? They like the way that you're teaching. They like the way that you're helping them apply your method. And so there's more people like that, right? And so there's going to be people that are going to want to hear from you. Yes, somebody else might be talking about a similar topic, but that's okay because they have a different way of presenting it. And some people will identify with that, but some people are going to identify better with the way that you present information. So do not think it's already been done and move on, right? I want you to allow yourself to dream big about how your own online or digital course could have an impact on your business and the people that you serve and the audience that already loves you. Okay. All right. So I do have an example for us today, and it is by Horse Class. And previously they were CRK Training. And so they've done a rebranding. And so the website originally was CRK Training. And so you might end up seeing both when you go to this link through the guide, right? When you go to the guide and get this link. Now, the course is called Calm and Confident Writer. And she's providing a very clear solution to a common problem that writers of all disciplines face. So she knows her audience, she's found what their problem is, and looked at how she can break down content to help them apply what she's going to teach them and get a transformation. It's going to make a difference, right? It's going to take them from point A to point B, which is really what you want in your course. Now, there are definitely some things you'll want to think about as you're taking notes and looking at how you would apply this to your business, right? You're going to think about the content, how you're going to break down the content, how long will they have access to this course when they buy it? Are they going to have worksheets? Are there other resources? Or is there a private Facebook group? There are a lot of things that you can do when it comes to an online course. Now, again, do not get overwhelmed because you can do it. You can also hire somebody like me, or there are plenty of other people out there that help with this process. But the point is, look at what you're currently offering, and is there a way that you could turn that into an online course that you could sell over and over again as a way of bringing in additional revenue for your horse business? Okay. All right. That was number 4. Number 5, our final idea here today is a virtual horse show. Now, do not stop and think that there's no way you could do that because that takes too many people, or, you've never put on a horse show before, because this can really work for a lot of different ways, right? Especially because it's virtual. You have so many different opportunities. It can be a really great way to engage people online, to maybe bring people into the fold that haven't really worked with you before, and they're not really coming to you specifically to work with you, but through the process, as you put on this virtual horse show, then you're going to build a relationship with them, right? And you're going to be able to do things along the way that show them what you do and what you offer. So perhaps you would have online classes, and then in order for them, for entrance to be a part of it, right? For them to enter your virtual horse show, then they would have to pay a fee, just like they would at any other. But because it's virtual, you don't have all of those big expenses. So your fees don't even have to be as high as they would normally pay. And then what they would do is submit their videos for judging. You could have a portion of the fees go to the winner for prizes. The rest could be proceeds or income for your business. You could even bring in sponsors. Go back and listen to my previous episode about sponsorships. This could be a great opportunity for that as well. You could even upsell, right? So upsell meaning when people enter, you say, hey, if you would like a private critique of the video you submitted for the horse show, pay an extra XYZ amount, whatever you decide that is best for you. And then that would be an additional way to bring in income and build that trust that I was talking about as well. So this could be a great way for you to do it for your barn or the people that come to you for lessons, but it could also be a really great way for you to reach out past that. Maybe you're going to partner with some others in the area. So do not be afraid, like with the online course, do not be afraid to dream big about this because the possibilities really are endless. Now, one more thing about online horse shows and virtual horse shows. So at the time of this recording, it is towards the end of 2021. So we have been, for some people in some areas, feeling like you're in a post-COVID situation, right? Meaning we were so used to being shut down. Virtual horse shows were really popping up a lot in 2020. But just because we are gathering again does not mean that there's not opportunity for you to do something like this, to do a virtual event of some kind, because there are still a lot of people that would maybe love to participate with you that wouldn't be able to drive across the country and go to one of your events at your facility. However, if you do it this way, again, the beauty of online is you open up that opportunity for many, many more people to participate, to learn, to engage, and to have fun together, right? So shows are supposed to be fun. So look at ways you can make it fun. I even saw one that did a stick horse category. So for people that had kiddos or that didn't have horses right there at their house with them, they did a stick horse category so people could still participate. So look at ways that you can make it fun as well. So it gives you a lot of freedom when you're doing this online. Now, of course, there are a ton of different ways that you could do this. Like I said, because virtual horse shows were starting to show up more and more in the past year and a half or so, there are even platforms out there now where you can host that. But the example that I provided in your guide, the free guide that I was telling you about, the example there, they actually hosted it on Facebook. Now, you absolutely have to be careful with Facebook's terms and what's allowed and do your research there, but they actually hosted it on a specific page. They created a page. You could also create a special group, and people are only allowed inside of the group when they pay the entry fee. So there are a number of different ways that you can do this. And of course, there are different associations right now that have really almost mastered it because they had to, because of out of necessity, they were doing virtual shows. So do your research, figure out what would work for you. And don't think that just because you're smaller, you couldn't do it. Just make sure that the time you're investing, that you are getting a return for that. Okay. All right. So you have 2 more ideas in your back pocket to add from what you got last week in part 1. And again, I want you to go get that free guide so you can see these samples. So go to stormlily.com/money so that you can get that free guide and see how this plays out. See how other people are actually doing it and be inspired by that. Now, again, like I said before on part 1, right? This is not the end all be all of how to make money online for horse businesses. My goal here is to inspire you to think outside of the box. Be okay with thinking of new ways. Be okay with doing some online elements for your horse business. It does not mean that you're not going to serve people in person. So do not be afraid that if you start to do things online, that's going to hurt your in-person business. It will probably honestly have the opposite effect. You will start to have more demand because you will begin to increase awareness even more. And like I said last week, memberships are absolutely another great way to create revenue online. So much so that we're going to dive into that in a particular episode later this year. So stay tuned for that as well. All right. As always, my friends, if you have questions about this or anything else you've heard on the podcast, please do reach out. I am absolutely here to help. You can send me an email. You can go to my website, stormlilymarketing.com. There's a contact form there, super easy, and it comes straight to my email as well. So I'd love to hear from you. And as I said, if you've not joined my free Facebook group, the How to Market Your Horse Business community, we would love to have you there. And it's another great place to be inspired from your fellow horse business owners. So of course, I will include a link to that at the show notes for today's episode, which is stormlily.com/53. Okay? All right. Thank you so much for being here. I hope that you are walking away inspired. And this is towards the end of 2021 when this is coming out. So maybe you're going to make some goals for what you're going to do in 2022. And if so, I want to hear about them. All right. Okay. Again, thanks so much. I will see you here next week. I have a super fun guest I'm excited for you to meet. So make sure you come back and you will get to meet surprise guest. I'll tell you when you come back. All right. Okay. Have an awesome day.